Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Welcome to Houston Real Estate Radio, where we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. I'm Shannon Register.
I'm James Brown.
And today we're talking about getting your house ready. Ready for what? Well, you might be getting ready to sell it, whether you want to sell it this summer or maybe you just want to do some spring cleaning or do some do-it-yourself jobs and just make it look a little nicer, whether that's repainting or an in-depth remodel. This hour, we're going to give you what you need to get you motivated and ready for your next project. We're even discussing some of the pros and cons that go along with do-it-yourself projects. Before we do that, I want to remind you that we have free tickets to next weekend's GHBA New Home and Remodeling Show down at Reliant. The tickets at the door are $9. That's June 8th and 9th at Reliant. We are giving them away free. All you have to do is call us 281-882-8088 and we'll have those tickets reserved for you. When you call, leave your name and your email address and we'll be able to put those on hold for you over at the Will Call Center. So when you get there, you can pick up those free tickets. Again, that phone number is 281-882-8088. We're going to be down there. James and I'll be down there broadcasting next weekend, and we would love to see you. Come by and see us at the booth. And also, Jennifer Bertrand is going to be there from HGTV, and we're actually going to be interviewing her. She's going to be Skyping in later on in the show, and she is going to be there giving some instructional tools for you on your do-it-yourself projects as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It sure will.
Quick news update for you. There have been some recent changes to the National Flood Insurance Program that are going to impact builders, and so builders are kind of in an uprise about this. And I want to make you aware of it because this is something that could carry over to consumers in the future. Basically, what's happening right now, homeowners insurance, flood insurance for homeowners is being subsidized by the government so that rates aren't outrageously high due to all the catastrophes, national disasters that go on that include flooding. So what they're wanting to do is start removing some of this protection and making the flood map changes so that there's less coverage, and also, extending out more coverage so that more areas have to have flood insurance, and then that flood insurance would be more costly. And right now they're just looking at these increasing costs for builders, but you never know, James, this could carry over to consumers down the road.
That's right, and it will definitely carry over. They're going to pass it on, of course. They're not going to cut into their profits for this.
That's right. All right, so you can find out more by Googling the National Flood Insurance Act or the National Flood Insurance Program, and you can find out more information on that if you're interested. But first, our top story today, May is National Home Remodeling Month, and I realize May was a few days ago, but I want to talk about some home remodeling since we've got the big show coming up next weekend. There are a few things that you really need to be aware of when you're doing do-it-yourself projects. 3 things to consider are hidden cost with the projects, safety issues, and also time, the length of time it's going to take you to do it.
And the value of your time relative to, what it would cost to have someone do it for you.
Absolutely. And, there's a big difference. You can tell, I can tell a lot of times when I go into homes what people have done themselves and what they've hired out professionally. Big difference.
Yeah, it is. You usually can tell. What's interesting to me is people will ask you what to do, but they won't ask you, is this something I can tackle myself, or is this something I should hire out,
Right.
And, I usually will just volunteer that information. I wouldn't recommend you do this yourself unless you really know what you're doing. But, a lot of TV shows, there's a lot of books out there, there's magazines, there's a whole industry, DIY industry. So a lot of people try to tackle things themselves, and they're maybe not the best person to be doing the job.
Well,
I'll put it that way.
And it's not just the time it takes to do the project. It's the time it takes when you're halfway into the project and now you realize you need help.
Yeah, I'm in over my head,
and now I've got to figure something out that I didn't realize was going to go wrong. And, and it just really extends and extends. Or there's an accident. Something happens. I've worked with clients before who were in the middle of a bathroom remodel, and there was an accident in the family, and they had to take a break from it. And then it's hard to get that momentum going and get back into it again a year later.
I remember one year I had my bathroom tiled in the floor, the walls, some wainscoting tile put around the walls of the bathroom, and I had actually hired someone to do it just to save time, even though it's a job I thought I could surely do myself. Well, the house had settled, so when they got to the corner, the floor was uneven and they had to make adjustments for the tiles. I would have totally missed that. I would have started tiling in one corner and got to the other corner and it would have been uneven and I would have had to call somebody in.
That's right. That's what you have to do, is call somebody to rescue you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember when I was pregnant with my second child, I was going to paint his bedroom the same way I did my first child's bedroom. Mm-hmm. I got halfway through it and called my favorite painter.
Exactly.
He said, "Why didn't you call me from the beginning? The price is the same." So I thought I could do this myself.
I mean, it's fun and rewarding to do it yourself, but sometimes it's better left to the professionals.
That's right. And there are some safety concerns. If you're not used to working with power tools and you're looking at cutting and laying wood floors or anything that has any danger element, you really have to be careful. About 37% of remodeling projects in the United States between 2010 and 2011 were done by homeowners themselves. But of those, there were a lot of accidents that happened that landed people in the emergency room.
Yeah, that's true. Especially things when you're, climbing ladders and things like that, or working with electrical, yeah, that's an issue.
And, really, a lot of projects look very manageable. But when you get into them, there's a lot of things that, you might not have thought through.
They make it look easy on the TV shows.
They really
But you don't know how many cuts and how many takes they had before they got to that finished product. How many do-overs they actually might have had to do.
Right, yes. And, that's really something that really people need to think about because, TV can be very misleading when it comes to these do-it-yourself remodeling shows and even the home staging shows. I mean, a lot goes into those staging programs that people don't think about because I've had some sellers who said, wow, I feel like I've already moved out and I haven't even started moving. It's just all the staging and packing and changing and moving and, just getting it ready.
Makes it a whole new house.
It really does. So a lot of work involved with that. So since May is National Home Remodeling Month, I hope that you guys will come out next weekend, June 8th and 9th at Reliant to see us. James and I will be out there broadcasting, and Jennifer Bertrand is going to be on in a few minutes with us. She's Skyping in, and she is an excellent painter, James. She really does some great painting projects. And
creative. I mean, the ideas she comes up with, I don't know where she gets them, but it's just, amazing to watch her on the show. And,
she's already told me ahead of time that if consumers will bring in their projects, their to-do list, that she can help them with it, If you're not sure about that paint color you want, bring in your paint swatches, bring in your paint samples, and show her what you've got. She can really help you make decisions about that sort of thing. She's got a great eye for it.
And actually, that's the whole idea behind the home show, is to come in there and bring your questions, bring your ideas. I mean, I'm sure a lot of those vendors will be happy to answer. I'm sure most of them will like to sell you their product, but you could still probe their brains and pick their brains and get the knowledge that they have and try to do it yourself.
That's right. One of the hidden costs that a lot of people don't think about too is when you do things yourself, sometimes you void the warranty. Sometimes if things are not professionally installed, it will void the warranty.
That's true.
So that's a big thing too. That's a big cost factor to really consider.
And I don't want to discourage people who have the savvy, and the skill to do it themselves from doing it themselves, because that's definitely, the labor cost is probably the biggest chunk of any kind of remodeling project. But it sometimes it pays to pay that extra professionalism and that expertise.
Absolutely. All right, James and I are going to be back in just a few minutes. Quick reminder about our sponsor for today's show, The Perfect Light. If you have not gotten your outdoor landscape lighting set up for this summer and you're going to be doing some eating and entertaining outside, you definitely want to call The Perfect Light. You can visit them online at theperfectlight.com. And remember, they also have those mosquito misters. And I don't know about you, James, but I think we're starting to need those.
It's time. Yeah, they're already in front of my front door. As soon as I open the door, oof, there they are.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the trucks coming around yet this year.
I'm sure they'll be around, but I haven't seen them either. You're right.
I hope they start soon because we do need that. All right, you can find them online at theperfectlight.com. We're going to be back in just a moment, and we're going to have Jennifer Bertrand from HGTV later in the show.